My name is Joe Schnurr. I am one of the owners of Cinder Wine. I am here with my wife, the other owner, and our fabulous winemaker. And we're doing this little video from our winery in Garden City. This is a special taped message for our shipping customers. This is going to be cool. This is the first time we've ever done this just for our Shipping Wine Club members. Melanie, what's going on?
Well, you probably found in your package your 2 baby bottles. We want you to get these out and taste them with us so you know what's in your package and you don't have to open the full bottle. And we're going to tell you a little bit about these 2 wines. So please pause the video at this point if you need to and pour some wine for yourself.
Pour some wine. Get a couple glasses. And actually, there's enough for a sample for you and for a friend. So hopefully you can have a buddy and taste these super secret samples. And Melanie, tell me, what do we have in each bottle, and what are their names? Oh,
This is your Malbec.
Oh, this is Malbec.
I'll take those 2 glasses.
Okay, and we're doing the Malbec first. Is that what you recommend?
Sure. Yeah, let's taste the Malbec first, and then the Barbera. Just since the Barbera is the small lot series, it probably doesn't matter much what order we taste them in, but that's what I've got going in my head, so we'll do that.
They like to hear the advice from the winemaker. So let's do it. Okay. All right, so we're going to do Malbec first, and maybe before we get into tasting wine, let's do a little toast.
Sure.
Toast for our club members. Now wait, you're having the what? You've got the...
Oh, I'll switch glasses.
See, left
now
and
we're
right.
both on Malbec.
Now we're both on Malbec. This is good. All right, let's do a little toast.
What are we toasting
Well,
to?
we're going to toast to the people that are physically very, very far away from us, our shipping club members, but they are very close to us in our hearts, and we really appreciate your support.
Okay, to you.
To you. Cheers. All right, so interspersed in between our discussions about Malbec and Barbera, I might hit you with a couple questions also about how the year was and the vintage and what's going on in the winery. But let's talk about the Malbec and make sure everybody tastes it back at home. But Malbec, Melanie, is relatively a newcomer to our portfolio. Why is that the case, and when did it come out, and what's going on?
Oh, yeah. So I've been experimenting with small amounts of Malbec, as those of you that have been a fan of the Valentina know, but we haven't had enough Malbec up until last spring to actually bottle it by itself. But it's a wonderful wine. It grows incredibly well here in the Snake River Valley. And the reason that is, I mean, you can kind of draw parallels. You can think about where Malbec grows really well. It's famous from Argentina, the Mendoza area. It's high elevation. It's in a rain shadow. They get almost no water in terms of rainfall. And the environment that's put on the Malbec is really intense. And when I was working in Washington State, I also noticed the same sort of correlation. Malbecs that were planted in really harsh sites with low rainfall, high wind, all sorts of things to stress the Malbec performed really well.
No, so this is a tough vine.
Very tough.
Kind of like Tempranillo in a little bit of a way. Now Mendoza, whoa, that's like high elevation on steroids, right? That's super duper high. We're high elevation, relatively speaking, in the wine world. What's our elevation here?
Yeah, we're at about 2,500 feet. Some of the Argentinian vineyards go up so high, I can't even remember, but they're closer to the equator. We're a little further away, so it's sort of a matrix of where do you fall in terms of your latitude and what elevation can you be at to make successful wines. You have to combine the 2 factors together.
Well, I like that. So this is not only a favorite in the cellar, you love how it ages and performs, but also I'm imagining your growers enjoy this vine too. It's pretty well suited for our terrain.
Yeah, my growers are loving growing it, and when I mentioned, hey, this is maybe, let's say, like 5 or 6 years ago, is anybody up for planting some more Malbec? Those that have been working with it were down with it because it's super vital. It goes through our sometimes difficult Idaho winters very easily. It's we haven't had really any incidences yet of it having died back during the winter. So that's a huge bonus. And it's just kind of easy and robust in terms of management in the vineyard. So the growers like it, and then we like it in the cellar because it's I don't know, it's just reliably good. So we always like a wine that's kind of like easy to make and
All right.
reliable and delicious. Those are good characteristics,
And
I think.
And it is, I don't know about the reliable part because I'm not back there. I've got the easy part in the front hanging out with you guys when you visit and selling the wine and tasting it. It is gorgeous.
Thank
And
you.
let's talk about what we're experiencing in the glass. Malbec, really nice, kind of a reddish, dark red color to me. And then what's kind of what's your experience on the nose with Malbec here in the Snake River Valley?
Well, mostly it's exuberant. You know, it has all sorts of stuff going on in the nose and the flavors. It's a very just forward, robust wine. When we play with it in the Valentina blend, we keep the percentages fairly low because Malbec is more expressive than Cabernet and Merlot, and we do want to keep the Valentina as a Bordeaux styled wine. So it's powerful.
You gotta watch out.
It could overrun a Bordeaux blend if we let it. So that's why we keep it smaller in that blend.
But now we've got its own a bottling, which is great. We've got Malbec in its own bottle. It's ready to shine. I think it's exuberant. I'm getting red fruit. I'm getting decent but not overpowering tannins. I would definitely still recommend from the full bottle that you're going to decant this in the first couple years. Would you agree with that, Melanie? Kind of let it open up?
Yeah, it's definitely got robust tannins that'll
Yeah.
be, they'll soften with time. Right now, they're a little bit on the edgy side if you open this bottle right away. But this is what the preview is so great for. You can decide whether or not you want to age it a little longer because
like
it'll
that.
soften and mellow and become more complex in terms of its flavors with age. So that could be fun. It'll probably be really starting to taste optimal in a few years, let's say like 3 or 4 from now.
We don't expect you to wait that long. Just order a couple extra bottles. I love it. In Argentina, it's a classic meat pairing, right? They eat a ton of meat down there. They're really into their steaks and stuff. I could see this totally going with a prime rib. I could see this also with even some wild game. It might
Yeah.
be nice. But I'm going more prime rib myself. What do you think?
Well, sure. I mean, it'll certainly stand up to something like that, and you might want to soften up some of those tannins with something that's pretty rich, pretty fatty. But it's another wine, kind of like Syrah to me, that I would just drink after dinner as my dessert because it's got so much fruit power and, yummy.
It's one of the reasons I fell in love with her. She likes a nice glass of red wine after dinner. We can just chill out and relax.
Yeah, that allows Joe to eat his chocolate dessert, and I only have one bite, and then I just have my glass of wine as my dessert. So
Guilty. I have a sweet tooth. Okay, well, this is lovely. I might want to pop back to this. Let's go to the second wine. This is our small lot series. And look at this. Okay, here's the big bottle, right? This is the gorgeous. And these again, small lot series just for the wine club. Gorgeous label there. It's Barbera. Look at the little mini. Look at the baby. It's so cute. I just want to.
yes,
Rock
it's
it.
adorable.
It's super adorable. It's kind of it's like all of our work, and then someone hit it with a
I
shrink
know.
ray.
Well, if you have kids, my daughter's having a really fun time using these tiny bottles to make potions in the backyard.
When they're empty, we empty them for her. So Barbera, I see small lot series. I also see Washington on the label. Can you tell us a little bit about this? I don't know if there can be some club members that maybe have never even had a Barbera. So a little backstory on that would be great.
Yeah, sure, could be. I mean, this is the first time I've ever made that variety. It was really fun, and it's what the small lot series is about. Because we don't want to produce the same wines. You know, speaking selfishly as a winemaker or a cellar team, we like trying new things every once in a while. We don't want to make the same wines every single year. And our wine club members, of course, find that interesting when we're playing around with things. So small lot series allows us to explore fun stuff, things that maybe will be just one wine, we'll never produce it again. So this could very well be one of those one-off wines. But the reason I made it is we had the opportunity to buy this variety from a vineyard in Washington, Alderich
I can't wait.
Vineyard.
I already sipped some. It's gorgeous.
That's fine.
Sorry, I had to interject there. Wow.
No problem. It's a vineyard that we've worked closely with in the past and that I used to be a viticulture technician on when I started my career 20 years ago now. So I know the vineyard well. It's a gorgeous vineyard. This block of Barbera is perched. It hangs in a terraced vineyard over the Columbia River, so you can stand in the vineyard and just have this amazing view of the giant river. It's so gorgeous, and they have a little block of Barbera. It wasn't contracted that particular year, so I was able to pick it up for 1 year and experience making this wine. I was really interested in making this wine because it's somewhat exceptional among red wines in that it maintains its acidity all the way through to full ripeness. A lot of red wines, as they ripen, the sugar goes up and the acid goes down. That's kind of the natural pattern of most fruits. But there are a few exceptions. Riesling in the white wine world is one of those exceptions where a grape can be ripe and have just tons of acidity. And Barbera is unusual in that it's one of those examples in the red wine world.
Oh.
So that, to me, is why it's fascinating. And we wanted to work with it, see what it's like. You know, sometimes we'll work with wine, we're like, oh, we never want to do that again. But this one, I think, would be a very nice one to have in the Snake River Valley. I think it would perform well. So now we just have to work on some growers to plant it for us. But
I like that. So even though Cinder is really about the Snake River Valley and exploring fine winemaking, you get to pop over to your old buddies in Washington every once in a while, especially for the Small Lot series, and maybe grab a variety, test it out, bring back ideas, bring back experiences for the club, but ideas also for your growers. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm imagining, and wow, this one is also jumping out in the glass to me, but I'm really seeing that acidity. I mean, this sucker is tart.
Yeah.
And this might even be, if you had growers planning this might be a fun blending wine, right? To give a little bit more acid or backbone to a red blend, perhaps?
yes, absolutely. Some of our varieties lose a lot of acid and end up a little bit, too high a pH. And so a blend with a Barbera could help bring that under control.
No, Barbera is an Italian variety.
That's right.
Right, okay.
Don't ask me too many questions because I don't know that much about
Well, Italian.
in Italy.
Oh, forget about Italian wine, right? We need a sommelier in here. We know some people we could talk to bring us the full Italian wine discourse. We won't do that today. There's too many awesome different varieties from Italy. But I'm really enjoying this. But I'm really noticing the acid, and I want to enjoy this with what? When I've got something relatively high acid, I mean, I want to bring in something kind of creamy myself and rich that the acid cuts through. What would you do?
Yeah, I mean, what comes to mind is all sorts of rich cheeses could be amazing. It's funny because I'm not used to talking about high acid red wines.
No, you're not. You're not a European red winemaker, right? Yeah.
This is kind of like, oh, well, why don't we all explore pairings and send it back? Then the next time we make Barbera, we'll have better ideas. But
and it's going to be fun for everyone to taste this at home, and maybe when it comes time to crack this bottle, go ahead and send us some pairing ideas because we'd love to hear it. It always is. It's just fun to get that sort of feedback. We'll get some great ideas. Mm-hmm. This has been fun. So we have Malbec, which is kind of the newcomer to the family, and we didn't get the time to properly introduce that because of COVID. Everything was kind of crazy, and we're just keeping our head above water. But this is going to be a regular part of our family moving forward, right?
Yep, that's right.
So Wine Club members will see this every spring, mm-hmm. and it'll be 100% Snake River Valley. What vineyards are we working with here?
Well, we have plantings at Sawtooth and also at Emerald Slope, and some more Malbec coming into fruition. Ooh. One in a new vineyard that we're just starting to harvest off of called Roxburgh in Melba, Idaho.
Awesome. So the future's bright for Malbec. You're going to be, hopefully you like it, because we're going to be making more of it for you. And then Barbera was this little experiment, and so far we're excited about it. The climate that you source this from in Washington is similar to our climate, so you can make some estimations that it would do well here too.
Yes, there's lots of parallels between Washington, Columbia Valley specifically, and the Snake River Valley. So we can be pretty confident if it performs well in one, it'll probably perform well in the other.
Have you cracked this open yet with any of your growers? Particular growers in mind that you're going to make some some subtle suggestions too, or is that top secret?
Well, yeah, not yet, because you guys, our shipping customers, are the first to see this bottled product. So
Very cool.
enjoy and let us know what you think. And I just wanted to briefly mention also, we aren't highlighting the whites. We aren't going to talk about them on this video, but the whites are all from the 2020 vintage, this past one, which of course in the human world was quite chaotic and unpleasant. But in the grape world, Mother Nature was super sweet to us. She gave us really nice crop level, like not too much, not too little. The growers didn't have to do too much intense work on the vines, and the heat units, the amount of just heat accumulation we got through the season was right on the Snake River Valley average, and average here is a good thing. It gets our grapes ripe without getting them ripe too early and so forth. So your whites should be tasting really awesome. Feel free to open them whenever. It was a wonderful year for both whites and reds in 2020. So that was one thing that went well in 2020.
Well, this was really fun. Thanks for meeting and dressing up and looking so wonderful, and you know, doing this fun idea. It's just a small gesture. These two little complimentary bottles just give you an opportunity to taste some wines without making the commitment of cracking a full bottle open. I know Melanie and I and everybody here at Cinder is really grateful for everyone's support, not only because it was a really rough year for everybody, but also you know, we have this relationship with you, but we don't get to see you as often because you're so far away. So enjoy this gesture. Please be in contact with us anytime. wineclub@cinderwines.com. We've got wonderful wine club liaisons and a wine club manager that are ready to hook you up with any information or see if they can ship you extra wine, take care of you, answer any questions. So you're a great integral part of our family, and we thank you. And let's toast them.
One more time?
One more
Cheers.
time.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers. This is yummy.